and welcome to your most authoritative evening political show, The Prime Point. We're coming to you from our studios in Abilinkwe 48 Swanika Street here in Accra. We are live on Facebook at Pan African Television, live on YouTube at Pan African Television, as well as 48 African countries. You can join in the conversation by sending in your views, comments, and contributions on a WhatsApp stroke text line. I'll be reading those messages out for you. Those of you watching us on Facebook, come share the Facebook Live for other people to also watch tonight's edition of the program. My name is Justice Appiah, and tonight on the Prime Point, we are looking at litany of issues. What are these issues we are looking at? The very first one we are looking at is the fight against Galamsey. Are we losing the fight against Galamsey? Calls have intensified for President Mahama to declare state of emergency. The president had earlier indicated that we've not exhausted all the opportunities we have in ending the menace, and so declaring state of emergency should be the last thing or the last call. And so he does not intend to declare state of emergency. We'll be bringing you a bite of that statement and stuff like that the president has made. Also, the Catholic Bishop Conference is calling on the president to declare state of emergency. Again, they are saying that they think that the president is not declaring state of emergency because he's focusing narrowly on economic gain of Galamsey and not the devastating effects that we are seeing and all that. So we'll be looking at issues pertaining to Galamsey. We'll also look at, an accusation emanating from the quarters of the Attorney General, who says the Ghana Bar Association is being political. They are engaging in partisan politics. Some lawyers have responded to him. We'll also be looking at that particular issue. But before I introduce my guest for tonight's discussion, now let's listen to some notable persons who are calling on the president to declare state of emergency when it comes to the fight against Galamsey. We'll be right back.
I've been reluctant to implement a state of emergency.
The following demands of government in response to the president's statement on deploying a state of emergency as last resort. 1. By Article 31(9)(a) and (b), the circumstances under which a state of emergency may be declared include the current Galamsey situation, in which the actions being taken by the environmental criminals are calculated to deprive large communities of potable water, which is an essential of life. It also renders necessary the taking of measures which are required for securing the public safety, the defense of Ghana, and the maintenance of public order, and of supplies and essentials to the life of the community. This text I have written did not come from anywhere. We are paraphrasing actually a constitutional provision. We are beyond the last resort. And His Excellency, Mr. President, please, you should immediately declare a state of emergency. And again, we are very clear about it, in parts of the country, not in all of the country, not in the entire district, but in parts of the country that are required to save Ghanaians as prescribed by the Constitution. A Constitution you have agreed to uphold. The President must provide the nation with milestones and timelines to serve as a guide for continued action and demonstration of the government's commitment.
That was Engineer Dr. Ken Eshigbe right there. But let's listen to the president when he engaged the media and what he said with respect to calls to have, state of emergency declared with respect to the fight against Galamsey. We'll be right back.
In the Galamsey fight, because we've not exhausted the powers we even have without a state of emergency. We have the opportunity to arrest anybody, to confiscate any such thing. There are laws for forest protection and all that give us enough powers to be able to act. Implementing a state of emergency might sound nice, but it should be the last extreme, the last resort. So for now, let's exercise all the powers we have. And if it becomes necessary for a state of emergency, then we will look at it. It means we have to go to Parliament. The president can't just declare a state of emergency without, going to Parliament, because there's a limit to how long you can maintain that state of emergency. And so I believe that we still have leverage to continue to fight Galamsey without necessarily implementing a state of emergency. It means that we have to delineate the areas where the state of emergency is operational. And if you look at the area where Galamsey is taking place, it covers several districts of our country. And so we would do it if it becomes necessary. But for now, I think that we've given the security services enough powers to be able to deal with people who are found to be involved in Galamsey.
That was President John Dramani Mahama when he met the media, I think last week or so. I've been joined in the studio by two very good friends and brothers of mine. In fact, they are my Achim brothers, in persons of Mr. Kojo Dankwa. He's the Deputy CEO, Student Loan Trust Fund. Kojo, thank you so much for joining us tonight on the program. How are you doing?
I'm doing so well, my brother. Thank you for having me on your show.
Right.
It's been a very long time.
A very, very long time.
I came into these studios.
I know, right?
You abandoned me on the way.
I can never abandon my brother.
You decided not to call me to feature on your show.
Kojo, you are my brother. We started this together at any time. You had liberty to come to this studio.
When you called me that I should come, before you said I should come, I said, Justice, when are you inviting me onto your show?
Exactly, that is so
exactly.
true. Yeah.
So what it means is that at some point in time, you abandoned me on the way.
Kojo, the truth is that this platform is yours. We are doing it together. Anytime, any day, you are at liberty to come here and we'll have a show.
That's fine. That's fine. Thank you for having me, my brother.
I'm grateful that you've been able to make time out of your busy schedule to be here. I'm so grateful. Also in the studio with me is Aaron Esiedu Entry. Aaron is a member of the MPP communications team. Who is he supporting? Is it Baumia Kne Japan, Kwabena Japan, or who?
Justice, thank you very much. I think my senior brother has clearly, with his additional responsibility as a party officer and now deputy CEO, clearly you are not going to see him on the regular. As to who I am supporting, whether Dr. Baumia, Kennedy Japan, right. Dr. Brian Champon, Dr. Yawose Duchum, Engineer Kwabena Japan, will not solve the menace you projected. And the Galamsey that is bedeviling our society.
So you are running that way.
It is not a matter of who I support
the MPP into the 2028 elections.
That is very important.
You are a communicator of a party, and as such, the party finds itself in a very situation.
The reality is
moving into 2028, mind you. When you went into elections in 2024, the leader who you brought, all of us said. The leader is someone who is a liar, and we were able to describe him as such. And so moving into 2028, it is imperative on you to, as it were, choose a candidate and one who all Ghanaians will be willing and ready to rally behind.
That is fine.
So that should be.
I take your advice. I take your advice.
It is very important. Unless, of course, he's telling us that he doesn't want to find himself in that mud where insults are being thrown, banded around.
Are they throwing insults?
Don't change the case. I wouldn't allow of course to dictate the pace of how I should run my own internal politics. No, we have people suffering from water crisis due to
people are taking side in your party.
It doesn't even matter on the national discourse. If I will take sides, and in fact I've taken sides, the party people even know. It does not matter as to what really matters in this country.
You are taking sides.
Yes,
and
it is not up to you.
That means you do not believe in whoever you are.
That is fine.
You do not believe in whoever you are.
What I'm saying is that what is on the table now, every Ghanaian must think of, because when we lose our lives as Ghanaians, we wouldn't be thinking about MPP and DC. It's how devastated our water bodies are. The water level is very low. You don't do that. You are only thinking about political solve.
Even to be able to solve this issue of Galamsey, it boils down to leadership.
Okay.
So it matters who the MPP will choose to be its leader come 2028.
Right.
And that is why it is important. It is very pertinent that my brother must know this. And so, if you are supporting somebody, I'm not sure you should be ashamed of whoever you are supporting. It was a very simple question you put to my brother. That who are you supporting in the 2028 MPP flag bearership race?
Right.
And that if you believe in whoever you are supporting, then why should you be throwing words about not answering a very simple question of who you are supporting? How should that be a problem? How should that be an issue?
After that's all
you see,
he's running away. He's stealing the time to discuss something that is not of importance. Galamsey is what we are calling on people.
If 2 is equal to 4. 4 is equal to X. Let him find X.
Okay, all right. We'll see if
I want to find X for him.
No, I want to find X.
X is the number of young people in the state of staff.
Then again,
sat on the bench for 2025.
All right.
Who are troubled? These are the number of X you are talking about. What are you telling me?
Agitated.
I know that.
We just asked you to mention the name of the person you are supporting. Anyway,
let me start with you. On the issue of Galamsey. No,
I want to determine who starts. You are making him slide unless you have an undertone.
It is because
Catholic Bishop Conference are making it slide. Because it is the response of government, and I'll tell you the actual feeling of government. I have no problem. You start with
it is because of the nature of my question.
Who should control the show?
It's because of the nature of my question. That's how come I'm starting with you. You are mounting pressure on this government to solve Galamsey within a space of 9 months. You have used 8 years of not being able to solve it. You failed woefully in solving the issue of Galamsey in this country after you were in power for 8 years. Why would you mount pressure on the government as young as 9 months to resolve the issue?
So first, on your question, it is inaccurate that the MPP is even mounting pressure. Probably the MPP is adding to the many voices. Let's make that clear. 2, the fact that the MPP was unable to solve it, it is a reason the MPP was shown the exit on 2024 December polls. Now the point over here is that when it comes to governance in our country, justice, you see, every political party in its quest to win political power has what we call a social contract with the people. A social contract with the people, and tell the people what you can do. And you see, the good thing about 2024 general election, I'm a constituency youth organizer at Abrim. I've been touring our communities. When you enter into Pankese, Adukrum, Bramkrum, straight to Ekweanse, my hometown, to Tenchemsu, Chenchemku, Kote, Abuahwaya, Bobo, all these communities. One thing the NDC highlighted, and I believe the Ghanaian people bought into it, is their readiness to curb Galamsey. Because one, in 2017, when President Akufo-Addo declared a war on it, went even to the step further of banning a national officer of his party, Kate Jemfo's machines and others, became a higgy haga throughout the process to 2024.
Was she doing Galamsey?
As to whether she was doing Galamsey or not, I think she went to court. But the matter over here is not even about Kate Jemfo. I'm only making it clear that.
I was about to ask why she was not prosecuted.
It is the
just like others were prosecuted.
I think she even took the government to court on the said action. And I'm sure if you search around and we have to verify the fact. But the point I'm trying to make is that is the height Akufo-Addo took the fight to. We did all these things, and the NDC in opposition, through its very functionaries and even the president, told us that the essence to or the way to end Galamsey first from the president on his media encounter at Kempinski, being asked a question by Kojo Dankwa, not Kojo Dankwa, Kojo Jansen, sorry, Joy FM. He said first thing he's going to do is to now free the young people who were arrested because of Galamsey, or those who were actually doing the digging or in the pit, and go after the kingpins. I had a problem with it, but that was his first promise. 2, he is going to use AI to fight Galamsey. 3, he is going to ensure that we repeal LI 2462. Is that not the case? And the major one, which is on the mouth of everyone, which Ken Ashibe and also the Catholic Bishop Conference is highlighting on, is the major state of emergency, led by their minority leader, led by the deputy minority leader, who is now the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, led by Haruna Idrisu, who is now the Education Minister, led by Sam George, who said that the work of the president, if the president actually means to end Galamsey, he can do that within a week.
Okay.
He tweeted that, and I think it is on record. Everybody knows. So the Ghanaian people bought into that. Because when you come to a Quincy and Etten virus, when you go to a Brain constituency, when you go to a Sino where my brother is coming from, we have farmers over there. And they believe that their cocoa was perishing and people were just entering in to do this galamsey, excavate the land, leave it so bad. Kwedo is coming from Osino. I believe you know that you are an Achem boy. And you should know, and you know the color of the water over there. I wouldn't say it started in 2025. It started long ago, but the devastation is still going on greatly. Now, the point I'm making over here is that the Ghanaian people bought into the argument of the NDC for these 4 solid promises. 1, to free those who are digging and go after campaigns. 2, to use AI to fight. 3, to repeal LI 2426.
But Ghanaians,
4, state of emergency.
Ghanaians have signed a 4-year contract with the National Democratic Congress.
Thank you very much.
They are just 9 months in office.
So they should. They should allow Galamsey to destroy.
Nobody is saying that. But why don't you give them time to be able to resolve this matter?
The point over here is the timelines they give us.
But it is not as if they are not doing anything about it.
Timelines. What they are doing is much ado about nothing.
The water guards. I mean, the tax force and all that
was having Operation Vanguard, Operation whatever guard. Is that not the same thing we were doing? And you said that is not the proper way to deal with it.
Okay.
And you have in your 120-day promises telling us that you are going to set up a whole lot of things to deal with Galamsey. We are not seeing it. It is what the Catholic Bishop Conference. They are no mean persons in this society. They are religious leaders who look after people.
Again, you talked about a social contract.
I'm going to pick them one about.
Let me finish with this question. You talked about a social contract signed between the National Democratic Congress and the good people of Ghana. Yes, in signing a social contract, I know that one of the things that come to bear is the manifesto of the political parties. I'm not sure the NDC promised in their manifesto that they were going to declare state of emergency. Why calling on the NDC to declare state of emergency?
But did we have functionaries in the NDC mentioning that? You see, when you limit the argument to only manifesto, all that you are telling us is that when a government can...
But that is a social contract between the people of Ghana and then the government in power.
Are you telling me that when there is an outbreak today, and the NDC didn't promise that they will be curbing outbreaks in their manifesto, and there is an outbreak today, the NDC didn't promise, so they shouldn't act on it? Excuse me. What is happening now is very bad. It has destroyed the very fabric of the society. Now, the first promise the president gave, which I find no reason, and I believe that it is questionable, is to say that you are going to free the people who were digging it and go out after their campaigns. Let me tell you one thing, justice. There is no less a criminal in this our society.
Right.
When somebody fought at law, and you, a former president, whilst campaigning and telling the Ghanaian people that you are experienced and you are going to ensure that you curb this, all that you tell us is that those who have been caught pants down, they have been convicted in prison, you are going to free them so that you go after their campaigns. A simple question every reasonable Ghanaian will be asking President Mahama is that if you free those in prison and you go after the campaigns, now those who in prison who know where the Galamsey pit is, come home and come and find that their campaigns who have been giving them money are nowhere to be found. Are you not telling me that justice, they will go back to the pit? That was a promise which was questionable and beat any logic. It has not passed any logical test in our country. The second thing is AI. The president mentioned that he's going to fight this Galamsey with what we call AI. Well, what has he done about it? The same president has launched 1 million codes. I was of the hope that 1 million coders was going to do 2 things. 1, it was going to create jobs for the youth, and 2, they will be able to code a certain program to stop this Galamsey thing, because AI deals with all this technology and others. The technology, as we speak now, the 1 million coders that was launched the government has not even disbursed a peswa into it.
Okay.
And now where lies the AI fight of Galamsey? The third one is the repeal of LI 24262. What happened when the NDC came to power? They touted this long ago. We are going to repeal it, being on a Kufuado. Now you get power, and all you do to it is amendment.
Okay.
Up until the
kindly step down for me in 2 minutes.
Up until, in fact, I'm only left with one of his promises.
Very well.
Up until on the 1st of May, when the workers' unions bare their teeth to him to tell him that repeal LI 2462. Felix Kwachu Ofutu, as the Minister of Government Communications, came to tell us that he's going to repeal it up till now. Do you know the theatrics of it? The Minister of Lands and Natural Resources goes to be take over the Environment Ministry as his additional responsibility. Now telling the Ghanaian people that he has now written to the Attorney General, excuse us, when this government started its administration, whatever they needed to do urgently, they go under certificate of urgency. If you don't want to repeal LI 2462, and all that you can do is to have your minister to be acting Kumawood, call journalists, cry, and only cancel to miss licenses and go away, get away with it. What Galamsey is devastating and getting so deteriorated of our society.
But the president says that declaring state of emergency will be the last.
I am coming to the fourth.
We have not exhausted all the measures that we.
If you knew that the point of state of emergency was not ripe, then you should have you should have even spared the Kufuado. Now the excuse they give us is that they are arresting people. Didn't the MPP arrest people? They come back to tell us that they have reclaimed 9 forests and 2 forests over here. If you've reclaimed forests, are you telling me that the Catholic Bishop Conference has no sense to say that the matter is getting worse and it is time now for you to act? Are you telling me that the people being led by Kenashbe are of no sense to even appreciate the situation? Please.
Right, thank you so much.
Clearly, they do not know what.
Right, so that was Aaron Siedu entry. He's a member of the MPP communications team. Please, I would want to find out from my producer and then the director. It seems Facebook Live has cut, and they should try as much as possible to stream, because a lot of people are complaining as to why the program is not live on Facebook again. So please try as much as possible to ensure that the Facebook Live is actually back. Now let me come to you, could you, on the issue of Galamsey. Yes, Aaron was right. He spoke about the fact that some party functionaries in opposition talked about declaration of emergency if the NDC, came to power and stuff like that. Again, he talked about the fact that the president himself on campaign platforms mentioned specifically that, the NDC government would put in measures to ensure that the Galamsey menace, it becomes a thing of the past. But unfortunately, the situation is getting worse day in, day out in this country after you have assumed office and all that. What is government doing with respect to the fight against the illegal mining menace?
Thank you very much, Justice. First of all, let me say a very good evening to you, and good evening to my brother, and good evening to our cherished listeners and viewers as well. First of all, my brother made a point that the issue of Galamsey was captured in the 120 days promise to the people of Ghana. That is not true.
It was in part?
It was in part.
Okay.
So you
So
didn't
that's the
act on
first.
it. You didn't act on it.
So that's the first.
You wouldn't act on
Please
it.
allow me. When you
He was very quiet when you were making your submissions. So
that is the first point. I have said that NDC did not, as part of our 120-day promise to the people of Ghana, capture issues of Galamsey.
Okay.
It is not true. 2, what we have to know is that Galamsey has been with us time in memorial.
Okay.
Just as my brother said, he is from Abrim. And he rightly indicated that having toured all the villages in Abrim, Galamsey has been with us since time in memorial. And so when you come to my hometown, when we were kids and we used to go to the farm, when we go to the farm, there were this, if you like, round pits that we usually, find in our various farms. And we were told that it was Galamsey at the time. And so Galamsey has been with us. But the issue is, how have we sought to deal with the issues of Galamsey by previous administration and current administration? That is the question we must ask ourselves. Justice, I've heard a lot of our MPP friends say that, oh, President Mahama, why are you not calling for state of emergency? Because in opposition, you asked your opponent, you asked the then president to bring state of emergency, and so why is it that you came to power? Are
those calls not legitimate?
I'm coming, I'll get there.
Okay.
And there have been a lot of calls from our brothers on the other side, asking President Mahama to institute or bring about a state of emergency, because President Mahama has in the past said that Akufo-Addo should have brought a state of emergency. Justice, I must state emphatically on this your platform that President Mahama never said anywhere that President Akufo-Addo should bring a state of emergency, and that if there is any proof or there's any evidence to that effect, they should bring it. We are ready to debate them on that evidence or prove that they have.
You are saying that President Mahama never said President Akufo-Addo to declare state of emergency against
if there is any evidence, any proof whatsoever, why? We are ready to debate our friends. They should lay it bare. Let's debate it.
Although he did not specifically say that.
True, Justice. I'll get there. I'll get there.
Go ahead.
You see, that said, I must also admit yes, there were some functionaries, there were some, individuals within the NDC who trumpeted the call for a state of emergency to be declared. Yes, I must take that. But you see, those who trumpeted for a state of emergency to be called at the time did that because of the exigencies of the time then. Because at the time, the government of the day had lost the fight against Galamsey.
Has the situation changed?
The situation had deteriorated.
Today.
Because, then, I'm talking about then.
But what's the difference between then and now?
There are a lot of differences. I'm coming. If you allow me, I'm building my argument to you to understand. You see, the situation had deteriorated then. And so there was every reason for whoever was calling for a state of emergency to be declared to call for the state of emergency to be declared. Now, Justice, what you need to understand is that during that time, we had a government which was complicit in the Galamsey menace. We had a government which had instituted a ministerial committee against the fight or against the Galamsey, that its secretary had been caught on tape by Anas Anas, collecting bribe to allow people to engage in that act of illegality. And you had a president not punishing the said secretary, but rather promoted the secretary to the Flagstaff House. And so what it meant was that the presidency was so complicit in it. At the time, you remember, Professor Frimpong Watson brought out a certain report, and in the report he described the Flagstaff House as the headquarters of, if you like, Galamsey, and that people in the Flagstaff House were engaged in massive Galamsey. And so all of these things happened. What it meant was that the president had lost the fight against Galamsey. You recall that when the Ashanti Regional Chairman Wutumi, went into our forest and was digging, he was excavating our forest, taking our gold, showing it on live television. And we called him out that you did not have a license to enter into our forest reserve, and that you've gone there to excavate and take gold, show it on live television. You had the president himself, coming out to defend Why?
Well, isn't it the more reason why Ghanaians?
So hold on. That is, you see, I'm telling you why at the time, the exigencies of the time allow for certain people to call for a state of emergency, and that now the situation is quite different. Now,
How different is the situation? Our waters are still muddy.
Now I'm coming. You see,
our water bodies are
so
still
I'm coming.
muddy.
You see, the president. said something. He said that, you see, there are a lot of avenues available to me as a president to fight the menace, and I have not exhausted all, and that at a point in time where I have exhausted all, that is when, if there is a call on me to declare a state of emergency, then I will declare a state of emergency. Justice. And the president said something. The president said that the previous government enacted a law, LI 62, I think, is it
2462?
2462, which allowed people to enter our forest reserves. And so at the point, 288 forest reserves that we had in the country, over 44 of them had been invaded by galamseyers, and 9 of them were no-go areas for the government. But as we came, President Mahama and the government has made sure that out of the 288, the 44 that were invaded, we have been able to recapture all the 44. The 9 that were no-go areas have been recaptured into the chest of the states. These are the things we are doing to prevent the galamsey. And so something is being done now as we speak. When we took over, the LI had been signed into law. As we speak, we have not issued one license to anybody to go into our forest reserve to mine. Not even the normal licenses that we issue. We have not even issued one. And so there is some level of commitment to fight the menace, and that is why President Mahama is saying that allow me the opportunity, give me an ample time. I am going to fight the menace of galamsey. I have been in power for barely 9 months, and 9 months, you don't expect that 9 months, something that you could not fight in 8 years, you expect me to fight in 9 months. Again, President Mahama has said that the processes are underway to repeal the LI 2462, and he has made that commitment. He has made that promise. I believe in John Dramani Mahama. He is a man to trust. He is a man of his words. He is a man who, when he says it is A, it is A. So I trust his words, and I know that as he has said, he is going to deliver, and that we are going to repeal the LI 2462.
Could you, before
and
you
you know,
continue,
aside that,
before you continue, you and I know that the issue of galamsey is done both in our forest and in our water bodies and stuff like that. You have spoken about how you are trying to reclaim some of the lands with respect to our forest and stuff like that.
So I was coming there.
Our water bodies are still managed.
So as
there hasn't been any significant improvement on all that.
You see, fighting galamsey is not an event. It is a process.
Right.
Now, as part of the measures to ensure that our water bodies, the one that we have in my hometown, Brim, become a drinkable, water body, the government, through the minister, has employed the services of water guards. And as we speak, the water guards are always at the bank of these river bodies, trying to make sure that they prevent any Tom, Dick, and Harry who wants to enter the water and excavate gold from the water. So I tell you, these are some of the measures we have put in place. Now, when he was talking, he spoke about a certain social contract. Yes. The NDC has a social contract with the people of Ghana, and that social contract is for 4 years. And that social contract is our manifesto.
There's an abridged version.
Of course, but it contains almost everything that the manifesto talks about. And this is the manifesto. My brother should point into the manifesto. Where in the manifesto that we promised that we were going to fight galamsey within 9 months, or we were going to declare a state of emergency? Where in the manifesto? Meanwhile, you people, when you were in power, when we told you to declare a state of emergency, you told us that we were making noise. We were making. I don't even.
So are you saying that because you did not promise in your manifesto to fight galamsey within 9 months, nobody can question you as to why the situation has deteriorated? Is that what you are saying?
If you look at our manifesto,
no,
that is not what I'm saying.
Are you saying that because you've not promised in this manifesto that you fight galamsey within a space of 9 months, nobody should question the NDC government why the situation is deteriorating?
That's not what I'm saying, and that is not what I will say.
All right.
I'm just refuting the point that my brother made. That indeed we have had a social contract with the people and trying to paint the picture. They have the pension of creating a picture that we have, promised certain things that we are unable to deliver, which is not true.
Right.
And so, let me take you into our manifesto.
Okay.
Let us list by one the promises that we made to the good people of Ghana in respect of Galamsey, and let's see as to whether within this short period of time of 9 months, whether we've been able to make progress or not. Let's list them.
Are you saying that persons who are complaining are not appreciating the works you've done so far with respect to the fight against Galamsey?
Well, they reserve the right to complain, but the government is trying so hard to make sure that it deals with the Galamsey that we have been confronted with.
Okay.
And that is why I say within this 9 months, you do not expect the government. Why? Within 9 months, something that the whole media fraternity supported you in 2017. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry in this country, every Ghanaian supported you to fight against Galamsey. We gave you our resources in 8 years. You could not fight it. You come to sit here. You are not ashamed. You not apologize to the good people of Ghana. And you sit here and you are throwing tantrums, telling us that, we have failed. Failed in 9 months? Failed in 9 months, is that what you are saying? Now let's come back to the manifesto of the NDC and what we talked about in respect of Galamsey.
Can you start that for me in 3 minutes?
And let's see. Now listen, the next NDC government will wage a ruthless war against the illegal mining menace and roll out an aggressive program to reclaim our polluted water bodies, degraded lands, and devastated forest reserves. We will.
Have you done that?
Of course, we are on course. That is what we are doing. And now listen, place a ban on the new mining activities in forest reserves. Have we not placed a ban on new mining activities in our forest reserve?
So
is it not the case that we
now
have been able to get those forest reserves that have been invaded by these our brothers?
I want you to
the chest, to the chest of the state. Have we not been able to do that? We said amend the minerals and mining law to impose stiffer punishment on mining in water bodies, and this is on course. The process is ongoing. Okay. Now, 10, decentralize the regulatory and licensing process for artisanal mining. And this is part of the cooperative mining that our brothers were going to launch in Ashanti region, where they were involved in
the unfortunate
incident. And it is something that the government is willing and ready to do, to make sure that we involve each and everyone within our society, the chiefs, everybody, so that the people who will be given the concession as cooperative miners will go and do a good job, and that if they do not do a good job, the chiefs and the elders of the area will be blamed. Now, please, implement a tree for life reforestation, and it has been done. It has been that one has been done. Is that not the case? Then he says, now listen to this. Set up a novel Ghana Gold Board to regulate the small-scale mining sector. Gold Board. Now we have an existing Gold Board, which is working, headed by lawyer Sammy Jemfi.
Do you know how people are describing Gold Board?
How they
say Galamsey trying to fight Galamsey. How? Well, that's what a lot of people are saying. I don't know what.
I mean, just today, it was in the news that our brother, lawyer Sammy Jemfi, has donated some vehicles to.
That is why people are saying that Galamsey fighting Galamsey, that would not be possible.
How? But it's Gold Board.
But you should prove the president even supported your claim.
Gold Board.
In the media encounter, he said if we are destroying our land and the money is
when you were talking,
why don't you support when you were
talking? I'll give you an opportunity. I'll give you an opportunity to respond.
That's this.
It is evident that Gold Board has done everything necessary and possible to help fight this Galamsey menace.
I see.
Just yesterday, I think it was in the newspapers today, Gold Board had donated some cars to the anti-illegal mining task force to fight Galamsey.
So they donated 5 million Ghana cedis.
Exactly. Exactly. So all the promises that we made in respect of Galamsey's justice, the government is delivering.
Can you step down for me
on those promises?
Right.
And so for me, I think that President Mahama has shown the commitment. President Mahama has shown that he has the will to fight Galamsey. And so it is incumbent on us as citizens to support him, to give him every bit of support that he needs, so that he will be able to clamp on the menace once and for all. And President Mahama is one that you and I can trust. President Mahama is the one that when he promises, he delivers. And so, Justice, we are pleading with Ghanaians. We have been in office for barely 9 months. Somebody was given 8 years and deteriorated the situation. Now we have come to make sure that we correct what our brothers had deteriorated. And we need some more time to be able to do that correction, my brother.
I'll come back to you for a final submission, but let me come to you, my brother Aaron. I'm sure you would want to respond to some few things. Okay, go ahead.
First is that my brother Kojo should know that, should note and know that come 2028, the NDC will not be assessed together with the MPP. The assessment will be their work they've done within the 4 years.
I see you mentioned some of the things they've done so far.
So he shouldn't be in a campaign mood that the MPP did this, the MPP did that, we are doing this, and people are not even seeing it. Please. You said I should keep quiet. So I am sure it will be in your best interest to extend me saying courtesies. 2, in fact, on the first point, the NDC together, in fact, of which my brother Kojo is part, has consistently within this 9 months been in a campaign season. It is why he believes they are doing something, and the Catholic Bishop Conference, together with Kenashibe and other well-meaning Ghanaians who think about our society and how deteriorated our land has been, maybe with the exception of you, Justice, who does not see, will get to know that Galamsey is worrying us.
With the exception of me.
Maybe, I said maybe. So maybe if you want to add yourself to the well-meaning Ghanaians who are seeing that Galamsey is deteriorating, now face the country is staging a demonstration. Come, what do we call it? 21st, I think 20th and 21st or so. 2, if there is anyone who has shown that clearly some functionaries in the NDC shouldn't be taken serious, it is not even Kwedu who is the first person. A lot of the NDC people, and I'm going to give you chronology of events.
Okay, go ahead.
When it came to cocoa price, these same NDC people came to tell us that they never promised that they are increasing cocoa price to 6,000 Ghana cedis. I was here in your studio with the cocoa board PR. He sat here, Jerome, to tell us that the NDC never promised. But we heard the Agric Minister, then ranking member for Agric and Cocoa Affairs, mentioning 6,000. And we heard the finance minister, who was then minority leader, mentioning 6,000 in the central region. Do you know the sad reality? The said finance minister at his vetting reiterated the point that he's going to increase the price. He came back to tell us that they never promised that. That is what the NDC trumpeted in this country. So I'm not surprised that you come together to tell me that, oh, it is some functionaries who mentioned it and President Mahama never said that. If people are going to be judged only based on the manifesto they have written, then tell me that if there is any outbreak, then it is not the responsibility of the government to care. What happened in COVID? Did the MPP promise to solve COVID in 2017 or 2016? Didn't they solve it? Didn't they deal with it? The third point is that when it comes to Galamsey, it deals with will. The political will you bring out.
But Kojo has challenged you.
Please, let me finish my point.
Justice. Where they said in their manifesto that they will fight Galamsey within a space of 9 months.
So the point over here, what Kojo, of which you are agreeing to, I'm putting you in because instead of you to correct him, that Galamsey is a menace that will affect our very existence. So forget about that manifesto thing you are talking about and deal with the menace.
But he's
are you telling
so the response
from
it's not an event.
I'm not disputing that it is not an event.
Process.
All that we are saying that your commitment is low because at the presidential media encounter, of course, at the presidential media encounter, we saw the president sluggishly telling us, the entire country, that if it is our land and it has destroyed, and we have the money being retained over here, referring to Gold Board. That is why people refer to Gold Board as a Galamsey board going to fight Galamsey. That is why Ghanaian, I know you know. But maybe you are afraid to mention it. Because now media, they crack. If you get to the ground on Ablekuba, not by election, you'll be slapped. You are afraid. You see how they are curtailing and suppressing free speech. Now, it is no less a person, Cadman Mills. Do you know who he is? The
Professor Mills.
The boss of President John Mahama has dealt with this. And he's saying that the same money President Mahama wants to be retained. Justice, let me finish my point. The same money President Mahama wants to be retained and be using Gold Board. It's a blood money.
Could you kindly give me 10 minutes?
It's a blood money.
I'll come to you.
Let him respond and I'll come back to respond. Let him respond.
Okay, so could you, because you want to leave.
In our local dialects, we say, Asem Papa Wuhui, Etia. Is that also?
Very well.
You know, my brother, I'm not surprised that he's bragging. Hey. You know,
Galamsey is killing us. You said I'm bragging.
MPP is fond of that.
But again, we are left with just 10 minutes to wrap up the entire program. So, kindly give me just 10 minutes. Let's wrap up.
But am I bragging?
So we are.
No. Am I bragging?
We'll wrap up.
Am I bragging?
Okay.
Now he brings in issues of cocoa that we didn't promise. Yes, of course, we didn't promise.
You didn't promise.
Please. But we said
doubting the credibility of Atofo.
No, but
you doubt the credibility of Atofo.
When you were talking, I was very quiet. I was saying I didn't interrupt. Please. Now,
you doubt the credibility of Ato.
Kindly allow him to make.
But didn't Atofo mention that?
But kindly allow him to make his point.
You know, didn't he say that during his vetting? Are you doubting the credibility of Ato? That is a simple question.
Right, but allow him to make his point.
That is a simple question. We said we were going to give the farmers a certain percentage of the FOB price, and that is what we have done.
Whilst you were talking about FOB, you were campaigning that you are going to bring the farmers. Are they not the same people?
But if you are doing that, the beauty of the program would be mad.
Now,
allow him. I'll give you the opportunity to respond.
My brother, look, if I were to be in the MPP, I would have been ashamed of myself.
Keep on.
To tell the current government that the current government has not got the will to fight Galamsey. Because if we talk about will of fighting Galamsey, he should tell me whether his government had the will. If they had the will, how come in 8 years they could not deal with the issue? And you are telling me that President Mahama has not got the will? A president who, when an allegation is made or leveled against a top echelons of the party functionaries, party leaders, no mean an individual than the national organizer and the vice chairman of the NDC. Mere allegations leveled against them, President says, Attorney General, go and investigate the matter. And you're telling me he has no will? Under you, the president went to the extent of exonerating the regional chairman. Regional chairman was exonerated. What would have happened to a party national chairman? He would have been given an award for doing Galamsey. So, among the two, who has the will to fight Galamsey? It's so sad that our brothers from the other side, instead of them to give us the support we gave them from 2017 so that they could fight the menace of Galamsey, of which they could not, they sit here and they throw out tantrums. As though the Ghanaian people do not remember what happened under their watch. I've thrown a challenge to him. I've thrown a challenge to him that President Akufo-Addo, when party Nyasika people were stealing excavators and giving to party people to engage in Galamsey, he should tell us whether President Akufo-Addo reprimanded any of them. Whether President Akufo-Addo made sure that thing that was happening did not continue. But President Mahama has said, and he has warned all of us appointees, he has said that if you want to do mining, it doesn't matter whether it's legal or not. If you want to do mining and you are a member of my administration, you are an appointee of this government, do not in any way engage in any form of mining. He has warned us. But President Akufo-Addo, what happened? You had members of his government engaged in massive galamsey in this country. All of us were quiet. Everybody was quiet. At the time, you were happy. So because you were enjoying from the proceeds of the galamsey, you were happy. It so happened in this country that people excavated President Akufo-Addo's house in Chebi. What did the president say about it?
Were those not allegations?
They were not allegations. They were not allegations. Listen.
I pointed out that those were mere allegations.
How were they allegations? This was a report.
Lies and allegations.
No,
they may also be true.
Lies. Why do you leave? Hold on. What is that? Relax. You said a lie about the former president. My brother, relax. You don't come on. Relax. Listen, Justice, you are not mere allegations. You allow him allegations.
Let me subject him to
you said allegations. Supporting it.
And I'm saying that.
Justice, so what do you do that? No. What I'm saying is that you don't say this is a mere allegation.
Don't spoil the beauty of it. I was going to subject him to proof.
No, say mere allegations. No, allow me to substantiate it. Allow me to substantiate it.
How are they lying?
Allow me to substantiate it. You know, substantiate it. I don't have substantiate, but he who alleges has a burden of proof, so he has to substantiate it. Okay, I lived in Chebi. I schooled in Chebi.
Those are mere allegations.
No, hold on. They are not mere allegations. These were reports submitted to the chief of staff by Professor Freeport Watson. Which don't you remember that Professor Freeport Watson?
I think I have a copy here.
Yes, read. Excuse me. What are you saying? Professor Freeport Watson submitted a report on galamsey in this country to the chief of staff, Mami Frima Opare, and he stated in that report that President Akufo-Addo's backyard had been excavated by galamseyers. And at the time, if you recall, he made specific mention of the youth organizer in Chebi. I didn't say that. And he said he made a call to Chebi such that they would go and reclaim the land at President Akufo-Addo's house. What are you saying? How can you tell me this is a mere allegation? This can never be an allegation. This is something that someone who was appointed by the president as a minister, okay, wrote on, reported on, and submitted same to the chief of staff of the republic then. So how can anybody say that this is mere allegation? This can never be a mere allegation. And like I was saying, I have lived in Chebi. I schooled in Chebi.
Okay.
I attended Chebi LA, now DA, and I can tell you, I know President Akufo-Addo's house, and at the point when that report, when that report came out, I personally went to verify, and it was true.
And you didn't video.
It was true.
You didn't video.
How can you carry camera? You are lying. You are lying, and it's so serious that this platform. Hold on. Justice, I'm so excited. Hold on. For you to allow this. Hold on. I'm so disappointed in you. Just relax. I'm so disappointed. When you confront them with the reality, you couldn't take a video. The truth. Then they are couldn't take a video and they are what is that?
That statement by Frimpong Boateng, professor, was challenged. The chiefs of Chebi demanded at the time that Frimpong Boateng should show them President Akufo-Addo's galamsey.
Let's see whether hold on. You see, Justice. Hold on, you see.
Kwabnani is inviting the former chairperson of the interministerial
now you agree with me that a minister who was the chairman of the Interministerial Committee Against Illegal Mining, okay, came out with a report which stated that President Kufuor's home had been excavated for gold. You now agree with me? How can you tell me that the minister who was the chairman of the committee had at his disposal the security apparatus of the state, okay, came with a report, and you're telling me that a chief said that it is not true what the minister has said? Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying? The minister who had the security apparatus at his disposal of the security apparatus and you're telling me that the chief said that because he should come and prove. Is that what you're saying? We will advise ourselves next time. Is that what you're saying? We will advise ourselves. Don't come out to deny.
Well, he never
did he come out to deny?
But
what are you saying?
In itself was
did he come out to deny? Almost everything that was captured in the report was never denied by the Kufuor government. So what are you saying today, Justice?
Well, you see, there are few things I would never accept because my integrity is actually at stake. I don't like how my brother Aaron would want to accuse and point fingers at me. This is a publication by Ghana Web, and please kindly allow me do this briefly. The controversy surrounding the alleged illegal mining activities at President Dankwa Akufo-Addo's private residence in Chebi in the Eastern region continues as former Environment Minister Professor Frimpong Boateng has reaffirmed his claims despite a denial by the presidency and chiefs of Chebi. Professor Frimpong Boateng's leaked report to the presidency detailed the destruction of portions of the president's garden by illegal miners. So Professor Frimpong Boateng, as it were, indicated in his report that happened. You and I know who Professor Frimpong Boateng.
I'm so much disappointed.
Never denied. No. You cannot be
a balloon that everyone wants to throw.
Don't be too emotional. Your final words.
My final words is as a journalist accepting that Kufuor's backyard was excavated.
Minister who made those comments.
Did I write from
Did I write it? Did he give a report with that? The report was not submitted to Kojo Dankwa, neither was it submitted to justice. It was submitted to the presidency. What are you saying?
Thank you all so much for coming. Kojo, I'm so grateful for your time. Thank you so much, my brother Aaron. I'm so grateful for your time. But let me indicate that I did not write Professor Frimpong Boateng's report. And I never indicated in that report that President Akufo-Addo's garden was, used for galamsey and stuff like that. Unfortunately, I read portions of the report not even my brother. In fact, but that particular portion is contained in the report.
It is fine. I'm saying that tomorrow we would be advising ourselves, and because we see how you can be biased towards it.
And so
everybody has become a news channel for all of you to be now pointing back to it. Thank you. My brother, you are too agitated. Thank you. Calm down.
This is what time will last on the program. Make a time with that same time tomorrow. My name is Justice Appiah, and the show has been hot news. I've never been biased. I asked my questions without fear of evil. Good night.
One thing, Elizabeth.